Hi, I'm Amir Helmy, presenting Epipal, the platform for epilepsy families. And so a little bit about myself, I've actually been at this competition and conference before, back when I was a high school student in 2014, first presenting Cesario at the time, which was using phones to detect seizures. And that was many years ago and, clearly a head full of hair ago. But over the years, I actually continued, encouraged by my friends in high school that had epilepsy and families that I met, to continue my epilepsy advocacy and research. And even just a few weeks ago, I graduated with a computer science degree from Georgia Tech. And while here in the Silicon Valley, I have many friends that are working at Google and Facebook, but I'm going all in on this mission and using my technology skill set to help the epilepsy community. And so over the many years that I've kind of been doing research in the epilepsy community, and I first kind of introduced mobile seizure detection back with Cesario, we've seen really cool innovations in the epilepsy space from Empatica, My Medic Watch, who's even in the Shark Tank competition this year, EPSI, and even recently Eden from the Epilepsy Foundation. But even with all these improvements, there's still a lot to do. And I'm here to introduce the next frontier in epilepsy safety and management for families, Epipal. And in the many years, talking to hundreds and hundreds of families in the epilepsy community, something keeps coming back to me. It's this notion that epilepsy management is not a journey that anyone goes at alone. It's really a family and team effort. And with this key critical recognition in mind, I want to introduce to you Epipal, the platform for epilepsy families. It's built on this backbone idea of creating digital family circles and using software only. We're talking mobile apps, wearable software that is available to everyone, and web portals and dashboards, a software-only platform, so it's affordable and accessible to all families. We want to offer a myriad of features. For the sake of time, users onboard in a private and secure digital family circle, and we give them many features, but I'm going to focus on these three main family feature packages and walk you through them: safety, connection, and clarity. So what does safety look like using the Epipal platform for a family, let's say, with a daughter in high school that has epilepsy, like an old classmate and friend of mine? So they can passively check in anytime without bothering her and make sure that she's okay. With our seizure detection algorithm and prediction algorithm using accelerometers, heart rate, and a breathing rate, we'll always know if there's an impending or current emergency scenario to get her help as soon as possible. Of course, you can add a seizure action plan so individuals around her know exactly what to do in case of an emergency. And of course, we will log any important data associated with the seizure event automatically for analysis later on. So with Epipal, you really cover all the bases when it comes to safety, and you have peace of mind in the palm of epilepsy families. We also want to bring connection to everyday daily tasks like a journal. So family members, individuals close to the individual with epilepsy, can add multimedia or perceived mood of their loved one or notes, all really important insights. And something like medication allows the patient to have their independence, but the family can, of course, monitor from a distance, gently remind or even encourage medication adherence. And other epilepsy technology addresses certain pieces of the puzzle. But when we step back and we take a family-based approach to epilepsy management and safety, what ends up happening is it leads way to putting all these different pieces of the puzzle together. And that's what we get with Epipal. We get a cohesive and clear patient snapshot and understanding of the individual's epilepsy. And I've actually here today, I have a technical background in computer science and machine learning. I've heard the word machine learning and artificial intelligence thrown around a lot. I know it's a big buzzword, but I also know that these models are only as good as the data that we feed them. So we are really focused on building for the people behind the data so that we can also ultimately have meaningful models. And so who are we? The core team is myself and my brother who's actually here in the audience today. We have a computer science background from Georgia Tech in mobile health and machine learning, but we're joined with neurologist experts from the University of Florida, Emory, and business advisors that have taken health tech companies to the moon before. And we've achieved quite a bit in a little amount of time. So we have an Epipal patient-facing version live on the Play Store with our full seizure detection algorithm. And we've detected over 2,000 confirmed seizures in the field with over 10,000 medication events associated with these seizures. And while these are huge milestones, we are just getting started. For us, it's always day one, and we move fast. So we want to finish building, testing, and releasing the Epipal family platform, the full thing, by the end of this summer, and really get a rich database from this platform to refine our machine learning and artificial intelligence models. We want to get FDA approval, and we want to, of course, get validation in the clinical trial space to be used as a suggestive clinical trial and remote patient monitoring system for families down the line. So we're going to be here working to help the epilepsy community. and here's how you can help us. And thank you to the Epilepsy Foundation for inviting me back after all these years and starting my journey out many years ago. It's a pleasure to be back and present Epipal to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Amir. All right, so we're going to kick off our Q&A segment here. And Noah, do you want to jump in first with a question for Amir?
Sure. Amir, what kind of medical device do you envision your software would be viewed as by the FDA, and what kind of regulatory process would you need to go through in order to be able to market it?
That's a really good question, and I know you're a lawyer, so I'm going to be very careful with my answer. So to be quite honest with you, I don't know all the steps. I know the first step is a FDA approval, like a 510K. And we've talked to, an FDA consultant before about what claims we can currently make, as a safety and management software that's out there, and what claims we cannot make until we get that approval. And so we want to be just, in terms of FDA approval, we want to get software approval for our detection algorithm. And we know we're going to be using, we don't have a medical device. Because we're going to be using things that are already out there ubiquitous, like the Apple Watch, which has FDA approval on some of their algorithms or heart rate and the breathing rate that they get. But we don't really have a custom medical device. And I know that the regulation around what you can do with software algorithms is changing now. So to be quite frank with you, I know that we're going to have to, like, some of the machine learning and classification models, we're going to probably have to have FDA approval for, but I don't think we're going to need, unless I'm wrong, approval for a custom device. But I know the regulations are changing, so we're going to have to look more into it, to be honest with you.
Okay. I could tell you, but I'd have to charge you. Let's not do that.
Okay. All right. We can talk later. Yeah.
Tom, do we have time for?
Yeah.
questions?
How are we doing on time?
Okay, so I thought you looked familiar.
Yeah.
Good to have you back. So my question is, a lot of people will download an app, they'll use it for a while, and then they drop off.
Right.
What is it about your app that is going to keep people longer than any others on the market?
Okay. So that's actually something that we ran into an issue with when we first started, like, releasing the patient version of the platform, is compliance and stickiness, as we call it in the tech community. And so one thing that we actually realized is having a family all involved. First of all, the people that are most enthusiastic about using these management devices tend to be family members and not patients themselves. So the very nature of the application being a digital family circle, individuals will be encouraging each other to continue to use the application. That's first of all. And then second, we've also noticed, it was something as simple as medication adherence, positive social reinforcement, like even a thumbs up or a kudos for someone, in college that's having their independence, getting a thumbs up for having medication adherence for a week or two from their family. That really improves that metric a lot. So having, that positive social pressure, I think, will also add to the stickiness of the app. Additionally, we try to make it really clear in the education and onboarding of the family platform is the more you use it, the more the family uses it, the better quality data and better understanding we're going to get of an individual's epilepsy. And that allows us, through our artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms, to give better and more useful insights to the family and care providers. So making that crystal clear as well, and giving people monthly, really useful, actual, meaningful analytics, I think will also incentivize people to continue using the app. Sorry for the wordy answer. Yeah.
All right, we've got time for, I think, one more question, if there is.
Sure, I'll jump in quickly here. So listen, I like the idea. I do think one of the problems with this is when you talk about detection and prediction is how good those algorithms are, right? And,
Yes, sir.
These have, some of us have worked with this for a while, on and off in different ways. And if you have a lot of false positives, it gets cumbersome really fast. So what do you all have with that you think would hone that down so you get a really good ability to have, few false positives and also specific enough to make useful?
Yeah. So we've already done some testing, and we have we haven't done like clinical trials, so I don't want to make any big claims, but based on our reviews and the feedback we get on our back end, we have like about an 18% false positive rate when the alarm goes off. Now we have multiple, obviously, safeguards in terms of alarms that can be disarmed before a message is sent when we have a false alarm, and okay buttons afterwards. To make sure that the family knows, even if a message is sent out, I'm okay. There's no need to panic. When it comes to prediction right now, we're still working on the research behind really effective prediction. I just want to clarify that when I say that, I'm talking about, we've had families come to us and they know based on their experience that, when my child's heart rate goes up, over this level over this, beats per minute for this amount of time, this is indicative of a seizure. I know this about my child, and they can set those threshold parameters themselves, and then we can fine tune them over time. So that's the kind of prediction we're doing currently, but of course we're doing research on more, advanced prediction as we get more data. When it comes to these models, we have like a proprietary, of course, detection algorithm. That's not new, but what we also have is a really rich database because of the angle that we're looking at the problem with. And what that allows us to do is really have a bunch of features in our, machine learning models down the line to really make them effective in classifications. And that's going to allow each, custom detection algorithm for each patient to be better as people use it more. So that I hope will address the false positive and specificity issue.
Thank you again, Amir. Round of applause for Amir.
Thank you, guys.